All right, guys, what's up? So yesterday I gave away two plays. They were as a parlay, so basically just one play. And I had mentioned that I'm trying to get to $5,000 to buy my son a car, and I was going to start with $100. I actually started with $75. I'm going to give you all the numbers, but basically we doubled down. So today we're going to double down again. I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm going to play this. So stick around for this. Also, if you haven't done so, go to the link in the description, click on free picks. Inside the free picks is where I'm going to be throwing all these plays. So let me just get right into it. And yesterday was a very good day. I had shown this graph yesterday. It was going to be to 6 games or 6 plays to double down to. So basically, they call this a ladder challenge. So $100 basically to start and make 48 at the end. So double down. For example, you started at 75, get to 150, 300. So basically, you're just doubling down every day. That's how I started. That's how I got. We started yesterday. I'm going to show you exactly what happened, and then I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going with today. So stick around for that. So, anyways, we won yesterday. So let me go here. This is what I shared yesterday. I was going with the Yankees. They ended up winning 5-3, and then I was going with the Cubs. So I parlayed both of them together, and I had the odds of like plus 118 or something like that. This is a little bit of a better picture of what the hell I'm talking about. So I put in $75 and I won $89 because it was at a plus 120 or something like that. So I ended up making back 160. So anyways, we made over what I was supposed to make of 150 right here. So now today I'm going to put in the 164 and I'm going to double it down again. So I hope that makes sense. Anyways, we had a very good day. Let me just show you. It was a 12-1 day, which is it's even more than 12 because these two teams are 2 plays, not just one. So anyways, that's one that hit. Old Dominion, you can see 24.5. This is college. That hit. Nick Martinez to get a hit. That one. And then I had the Yankees straight up. So that one. Jeremy Pena to get a hit. He got a hit. The Cubs -1. This is the one that got pushed. So I didn't win or lose. They just got pushed. And then this was an under RBIs. The reason I got paid out so little money is because this guy was canceled, but the other one hit. Then I had a pitcher prop right there. And then Arkansas State. I actually shared this one live yesterday as well. I explained why I went with them and how I went with them. I even showed you how I came up with this play. They ended up winning by 18. So even the line at 14.5 would have hit, but I was not risking it. I took it at the key number of 14 right there, 13.5. Then Bobby Witt Jr. and Michael Bush to get a hit. They both got 2 hits, and then that's it. And then there was another section here. Anyways, I'm not going to show it because I got to go back into Discord and show the other one. But anyway, let me just keep going here. So Arkansas State won by 18. We needed them to win by 14. So that came through. And then, like I said, we are going to double down to 164. I'm going to show you my slip so you can see exactly what the hell I'm talking about. First game I'm looking at, I'm going to use this tool called a Sharp Edge. This is in the link in the description as well. And what this does is basically gives you the sharp plays for the day of games you should be looking at. It gives you all the reasoning why, the medium confidence, the high confidence, all that stuff. So anyways, I already looked at all these games. I do like 4 teams today. I already put them into VIP. But I'm going to give you 2 of those today. So stay tuned. So I do like the Mets a lot right here. Let me just kind of read what it says here, and then I'm going to get into the details. Massive offensive edge. These are ranked 5th versus 19th. What this means is that these guys are on fire, and these guys are the bottom 10. Superior starting pitching with Zenga. Zenga's very good versus Alcantara. 68% chance that they're going to win as a favorite, and they have a fundamental advantage outweighs the deficit. So massive offensive and pitching mismatch. What's the other one? Tigers is looking very good as well. But the one I'm going with, I'm going to talk about more specifically is the Cubs as well. So let me get into these details. The first one I'm going to get in right here is Boyd for the Cubs. You can see he's got a 2.82 compared to Gordon with a 6.44. Basically, the Rockies are just trash, and the Cubs have been on fire. Or not fire, but they've been getting better recently. So they've been winning. You can see Colorado versus Boyd is not that good. They're somewhat decent. They don't have a lot of experience here. But look at these numbers compared to these numbers. These guys have – Bush is one of the guys that got a hit for us yesterday. So you can see his OPS is 1. This guy's Crow Armstrong, it's 2.5. So all these guys are the Cubs versus Gordon, the pitcher. So this is a very, very high hit rate compared to this table over here. So not only is this guy trash, this guy's good, and then these guys have gotten a lot of hits based on these numbers here. So I really like the Cubs today. Let me get into the details there. So here it is. The one thing I don't like, it says that the Cubs opened at a 205 and it's currently at 241. So the line is shifting in the Cubs' favor. 91% of the bets, 90% of the money is coming in on the Cubs. Like I said, Boyd outnumbers this guy by a lot. The bullpen, I don't have any information there, but then you can see the batting average 2.7 versus 2.0, 5 runs per game versus almost 3 runs per game. OPS is a massive difference. This is almost at a 0.81 versus a 0.558. So what this is OPS, what this means is on base percentage. So it's a lot better for the Cubs. Also, the pitching is a lot stronger. Look how many strikeouts they have. The ERA is lower, which means it's better. And then you look at all these probabilities here. These are just the probabilities. 81% hit rate that they should win. 7.5 runs compared to 4.5. All this green versus all this red. 67% chance overall picture that they're going to win. And then Colorado to bat in the 9th. I talk about this almost every video. What this says is that the Colorado should be batting in the 9th. And what that means is that they should be losing the game. And this is a heavy, heavy odds that it says, yes, they should be winning the game. I'm sorry, losing the game. So look at all this green versus all this red. I've already talked about the Cubs a lot yesterday. Same thing today. They're just coming back and they have a lot better pitching, a lot better batting. They actually have a better pitcher today than they did yesterday, and they ended up winning. So let's get with that with the Cubs. Here's the last thing I'll show about the Cubs. Look how much red is over here. Pretty much every batter is decent compared to these guys, only like the top 2 or top 4. And then these guys have a lot of mismatch here for batting. So the Mets, it says that it started at a 145 and now it's at a 168. That's a 23-point move. That's a dramatic. It does say 83% of the bets, 86% of the money is coming in on the Mets. So not only is the money coming in, the bets are coming in and the line is shifting. All right, let's keep going here. Starting pitching, Sandy Alcantara is 5.8 versus New York Mets is 2.5. So Zenga is one of the top elite pitchers right now. It says league average, but he's actually a lot better than that. Only because they're losing games and stuff, but he's actually a very decent pitcher at a 2.73. 103 strikeouts compared to this guy Alcantara, 5.8, which is below average. Bullpen is not showing up because they changed the way the data is pulled, but I'll fix that later. Look at this batting analysis, 3.1. This is even higher than the Cubs. And then versus Miami's 2.6. Runs per game is almost a 9 compared to a 5. OPS, these guys are top 2. So it's the Yankees they're on top, and then the Mets are actually number 2 for OPS. Then the ERA, look how bad this is. The higher the ERA is, the worse it is. So ERA for Miami is very bad compared to the Mets is not great either, but it's better. Strikeouts per game. Okay, then we got the 70% chance that the Mets would win. All this green, one little yellow tab here. Everything else over here is red compared to green. So the Mets should be dominating this game, 61% chance. And then the Mets are at home, and it says that they should not be batting in the 9th. Again, I've talked about this a lot, where I explain why this is so important. It does say that it's going to go over 7.5 hits compared to the under 7.5 hits. So there's not a big differential there on the hits themselves. You can see a lot of this is contradicting here. There's a lot of red on both sides, a lot of green. So this is kind of contradicting. But the overall picture does show the Mets to be dominating. Let me show you this as well. So the Mets versus Miami. Now let's look specifically versus Miami versus Zenga. You can see they don't have a lot of hits here. They do have some at-bats. This guy has 10 at-bats. So Edwards is pretty much the only risk right here. And then you compare the Mets to Alcantara. Look at Alcantara has all these hits from the Mets on Alcantara. So they have a lot of history there. And it shows that they should be getting a lot of hits today. Another thing here, the Mets, like I said, are number 2. Miami is number 19 on hit percentage or hit on base percentage. So you can see all this red right here compared to this. I mean, these guys are not bad, but these guys are a lot better. And then the last thing I'm going to show you guys, before I do, guys, make sure you subscribe. Also, click on where it says free picks. That's why I'm going to throw all the picks that I'm doing for this ladder challenge getting to $5,000. So this is day 2 of getting to $5,000. So this is the play right here. I'm going to go with the Mets on the money line. I trust the pitching a lot in that game. And the Mets are also number 2 in batting on base percentage. I do like the Cubs. I took them straight up as well, but I wanted to get a little bit of insurance right there. So I got them at a +1.5, especially because they're on the road and stuff like that. So anyways, I took a little bit of an insurance. I had a +1.5. And then I can do that because I'm close to the +100 right here. It's not exactly a +100. But like I said, yesterday we made up for that with a +120. So the stuff that we made up yesterday, we're going to pay it out today. So you can see I put up $164 just like I showed you right here. I'm putting up 164 to make 305. So again, I started at 75. Today hits is going to be $300. And then tomorrow's going to go 300 to 600 and then 600 to 1200. And 1200 to 2400 and then 2400 to 4800. So that's the plan, guys. Let's keep it going. I do like the Cubs at a +1.5, and then I'm taking the Mets on the money line. So if you guys don't want to parlay these, if you're not following along what the hell I'm doing here, you can take the Cubs money line and the Mets money line. So I'm giving you guys 2 plays. I'm also going to work on some batter props. I might throw some batter props out there. I'm waiting for the guy to run through the system. And once I have the batter props, I'll be throwing them in the free plays as well. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Let's have a great Sunday. Yesterday was a 12-1 day, and I made over 300, almost 300 and something dollars yesterday. So thank you guys so much. Let's have another great day.